Be live. Are we live?
I'm very live and very out of focus, and I'm sorry, but
Does your OBS has like a thing? If you click on the camera and click properties, a window opens, and then there's like 3 buttons in the window, and one of them is configure camera, and that'll usually open the camera's own settings, so you can set a manual instead of an autofocus.
Joe,
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
When I said I've been trying at this for since we finished recording, I have been trying at this since we. I can't even get it to transform properly in OBS.
What
It won't
about?
even flip vertical or horizontal.
Is that because you have the layer locked?
Nope,
Because usually if I can't do that, it's because the layer is locked.
layer is not locked.
Hmm.
It's just being a butt.
Oh, well, that's not great.
So oh, I actually need to slash emo only off actually, because my bots are not present. There you go. Hi guys.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Joe Hills, and your favorite zombie Cleo.
I am your favorite. I can tell.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're here for a start. That helps.
It does.
And there are other people streaming, so you know.
Yeah. You have a lot of choices when it comes to not watching us. Thanks for choosing us.
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
So my promise, I did do that class about a whole bunch of cactuses, and I did there were 21 that I ended up drawing. So thanks to all you guys. Oh, lots of first time chatters. Hello. Yeah, so I've drawn a lot of cactuses ready for this bullet journal, but I do need to do my budget stuff before I can draw little cactuses around it. But they are very cute, and they actually have names. They're not just made up.
So wait. Do they not have a unique plural in British English?
They're cacti, yeah, but
Okay.
who cares?
Well, I mean, if you really
I mean,
did...
Joe cares. Okay, I apologize.
I mean, I care, but you could also plural it with like an S in the middle instead of cactuses. They could be cactuses or cactus. Cactus.
Just
These
add
these
lots of
three
ESs onto the end.
cactus. Yeah. Like I bought 3 eyes phone the other day. I didn't. Although tips are welcome via PayPal.me/Joe Hills if you want to help make that a possibility. Not a likelihood, but a possibility.
Catsus. But yeah, like different names, and I didn't know any of them apart from Saguaro, and that's it.
All my axis live in cactus. Oh, wait, does that work? I don't know if it does.
Yes, thank you for putting your tip link in my stream.
Oh, whoops, sorry! I had multiple windows open. It doesn't let me delete
I
it.
don't mind, but it was just sort of kind of presumptuous of you.
No, because I moved the windows around. Although, really, Cleo, 3 eyes phone is a lot, so...
This phone is all. Thank you, Sky Nice, for resubbing for 13 months. You've a lucky number of months. Jeez. I also accept tips. I've got links down at the bottom for mine.
I was gonna say,
not in Joe's chat.
Cleo, if you wanna post your link in my chat, you're a VIP there. just to make it even.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. This is fine. This
is going about as well as anybody could have hoped. Which is
no,
not
it's
very
fine.
well.
Okay, so this is quote. I haven't decided on a quote for May. This is going to be the May page. Then what do we do? I actually don't, my brain doesn't function.
So you've got, it's going to say the word May somewhere, so maybe block out where that's going to go.
Yeah, I've got that.
Okay, and then maybe...
I'm just looking at how I organise my journal.
Gotcha.
Because I have had a week.
Oh, you don't say... What do you think is the most amusing of your many perils and troubles this week to discuss?
I don't think any of them are particularly amusing.
Oh, well, that's fine, but we'll leave that up to the people.
Uh, I mean, I could tell the story of getting the tooth extracted. That was, I mean, it's fun in a kind of sadistic kind of way. Can you turn the camera 180 degrees? No, I tried. I really tried.
I really don't understand what you broke in OBS that it won't let you rotate a
Everything in
source.
OBS. This laptop is. It's fine. It helps me do something.
This might be a bad time to ask this, but maybe it's a good time to ask because Cleo does have a tip link, even if she refuses to post it in my chat, because she's too good for my chat. But isn't there an at this point? Are you going to return this laptop and get a good fallback computer? Because clearly this, like, if the goal of the laptop is to be a fallback if your desktop fails, this is not fit for purpose.
I mean, probably yes.
Okay.
I've got a 90-day returns on it.
Because I have never seen somebody purchase a laptop that they've been so unhappy with immediately.
So happy with it.
And I think part of it might be that this was an emergency purchase.
Yeah.
But, like, the
was
next time
literally
this
just
is an emergency, I don't want you to have to go through this again. It's so sad.
It's very sad. Hopefully by the next time I have, like, a different desktop computer to use.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that's the plan. Oh, yeah, like, no, my overlays are scuffed as well. So I do apologize for everything you're experiencing right now.
Yeah,
But,
you could call them Noverlays because they're completely absent, or you could call them Joverlays because you don't know what the hell they're doing.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing, Joe. It's fine.
Okay, Cleo.
So, thank you to Kanarasha for tipping 333. Say, I have to appreciate Joe's entrepreneurship and appreciate it by donating to you for a new /computer.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Crafty Gestures resubscribed for 5 months and cheered cow biddies, but no cow biddies at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's appreciated. Are you actually receiving tip notices? I am. I'm receiving the tip notices because the activity feed is still up, but the stream layer is down. So
Yeah,
it's fine. Like,
one thing I'm disappointed about, Cleo, is that when you described your week privately before the show, you used the word harrowing, but you didn't use it again just now.
It has been harrowing, Joe. It has been.
You know who else had a particularly harrowing time after Good Friday?
Who, Joe? Is it you?
Jesus Christ. Literally, the word, like, the harrowing of hell is, like, a whole thing. Where he, like, goes into hell and brings back a bunch of people.
Okay.
But, like, so I was like, ooh, how seasonal. Ooh, we can do a lot with that. But no, Cleo's just like, I don't want.
I mean, like, Joe, I'm not.
I would leave those people
Jesus Christ
there.
Was a real person, so you know, really not the person to be arguing with it.
I'm not arguing. I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating you going into hell and rescuing all the people. Your own personal hell of having a laptop, but then bringing them back in ducky form on your placid duck stream the other day. That was a really fun stream. I forgot
you were there, but I enjoyed that stream quite a lot.
Yeah, I was there for 2 hours.
I know you were, and you kept on, like, but I don't
doing
remember.
My taxes. Like... I wasn't going to be like, Cleo, let me make another gaffabulous joke.
Gaffabulous.
You know, I've been hung up on trying to find a good portmanteau for guffaw since Monday, and it's Wednesday, and I just now got it. Clearly, you bring out something in me, Cleo, that nobody needs to see.
Nobody needs to see. I don't know how to feel about this, Joe, but that's fine. Fine. Okay. Ducky Stream was great. Ducky Stream was fun. I liked Ducky Stream.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, man, I want to do this with my own channel, but I don't know how to do it without it being too derivative. Like, I feel like it would just basically have been the same stream as your stream. And I don't want to do that. So I haven't figured out how to put the Joe Hills spin on it. Like, because like, I've got, like, a bunch of stuff that you don't have. Not to brag, but, like, In terms of like, if I want to make sure that I'm not stepping on your toes, I need to do things that we don't overlap, right?
Joe,
What?
you don't have to worry about stepping on my toes about this. It's fine.
Okay.
But you know what? I appreciate that you're trying to do something new and original.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a big train. Thank you.
Where's my?
Didn't notice that,
I
but
didn't either.
yay!
Hold on.
Appreciated. Oh, but no, it's gone. It's
The hype train's over already. I missed the train.
already. I missed it. I missed it.
It says
So-
you missed the train in huge letters on my screen. I didn't even know it did that.
Same. That's okay, guys. I will just suffer in silence. Actually, that's not really very me. I've been suffering really loud.
Oh,
The
yeah.
last couple of last week.
Suffering in vibrance. Vibrating my vocal cords, vibrating violently off the table while trying to sit still.
Just genuinely, like this last week, I have like the tooth extraction, which I didn't like. It's stupid of me now that I think about it, but I did not expect the pain to last as long as it did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, when
the
I
fact
got
that it
my
started
wisdom teeth out,
subsiding
it was fine.
today.
Yeah.
But I've had my wisdom teeth out before, and it was okay.
Yeah.
This one was
This
not
is like a
okay.
different thing. Yeah.
Adjacent tooth
Mm-hmm.
to wisdom tooth. It was literally. It was like, what's going on? Why is it so painful? I don't get it. I don't like it. It's not fun.
Mm-mm.
Thank you, Akieta, for the piece. It's appreciated. But yeah, no, like it was so weird because I'm gonna tell you, like, if you're a bit squeamish, give me a minute. I'm gonna tell the story of my tooth going.
If you're a bit squeamish, prepare to flee.
If you're a bit squeamish, sorry, sucks to be you. Suffering vibe. Okay, so I had like my bottom left molar out.
Uh-huh.
It was absolutely knackered, but it was so infected that the first time they put a pain injection in, the infection ate it. I got a little numbing sensation, and then they just went, "How's the pain doing?" And they pressed on my tooth, and don't think I've ever made that noise before.
Mm-hmm.
It was a deep, guttural, open-mouthed scream.
Oh, I did one of those the other day. There's a clip of it on Twitter. Because I was singing the Animaniacs theme song as the Beetlejuice, and it's like, I got to the "We're Animania" just as a creeper blew up, and I was in the middle of saying already, but like with the "and we're zany to the max, da 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 da, we're Animania." Like, except like way louder and for way longer. Because I was already making roughly a screaming sound, and my body's just like, it's time to double down. Like, like this is we're not there yet. Keep going.
Yeah, and then what they did, because there was a hole in my tooth, because I had a periodontal hole or something. Can't remember what the official term was for it.
We'll call it a periodontal void.
It wasn't a void. It was just an access into my gums through my tooth.
Sure.
So what they did is they took the needle, went through my tooth, into the gum, and again, open mouth screaming. It was like, oh, this is actually the worst thing. Or so I thought until later, but I'm not going to go into that part. That part's too much. But now I have trauma, so.
Oh, well, you can put that up on a shelf somewhere nice.
Yeah, it's fine. Everyone in the waiting room. To be fair, I don't think anybody heard me because it was like deep in my throat because it was like, oh god, yeah, never again.
I'm posting more links in your chat, but this one's not asking for money. This is just my scream for the people that want to opt in.
Opt-ins, Joe screaming. We all appreciate that.
Yeah. You can determine your own level of involvement here. I'm not gonna. Hey, Badger. Glad you could join us. Now that Badger is in the chat, I'll put the Badger Lego on display there as well. Oops, my hair's messed up. as always.
I was going to say, how do we know the difference?
Unlike usual, when it's perfect. Uh,
Honestly, the extraction part didn't bother me. The pain relief, that bothered me. Was this the same place where you heard people screaming from the waiting room? To be fair, I did see that woman go back, and she was already sobbing whilst in the waiting room. So I'm not really surprised that the very anxious woman who was going to be sedated was screaming and crying, but it did make me pee a little bit.
That's fair. Yeah, so
Cleo Blue has resubscribed for 2 months. Thank you very much. Hang on, can I do hearts on this?
I don't know.
Kind of.
Yay, Lilia Blue.
I beat your infected toe treatment on Sunday, and that was no walk in the park either. And I bet you couldn't afterwards. The clip Joe sent was pretty funny. Never went to the dentist to have my wisdom teeth removed. I had my wisdom teeth removed. It was nothing compared to what I had to deal with.
Yeah, having my wisdom teeth removed was fun.
Yeah.
Not really. But yeah, I remember that was the first time I had opioids, and I had just watched like all of House, which is a show about a doctor who's addicted to opioids. And like, so they gave me these painkillers, and I'm just like, oh, this is what all the fuss is about? Like, man, I thought these were supposed to be great or something. Like, like I was just like really disappointed.
Honestly, like, I wish I'd got opioids, because honestly, like, they just said, yeah, the pain will stop in about 2 hours. The pain relief will stop in about 2 hours. Make sure you've already taken some paracetamol. And I'm like, okay.
Speaking of prescriptions, Badger Spanner writes, I am tired and very hungover. You know what? A vodka Red Bull will do you. That's how I would do it. I can't really drink enough to get hungover because of my stomach problems, but, you know, that's how I deal with the tired part. And I'll just assume that there's something in Red Bull that's good for hangovers.
The good part about not drinking very often is that when you do actually go to get drunk, you don't actually have to do a lot of damage. Yeah. So it's like, how much have you drunk? Like, I've had like 2 whole shots. Okay.
Oh, I can't do shots because like my stomach, like I just And so like if people are like, we're doing shots, you want one? It's like, I will sip it politely. Please don't take that as an insult. And sometimes they're like, well, you know what? You're not doing shots with us, and I'm like, that's okay. Other times they're cool about it.
Actually after, but sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, honestly, this was your thing in the first place. I don't need to be a part of it. Like, you offered to include me. I expressed my boundaries, and you determined whether or not I could be included. I'm fine with this process. You know, like...
Yeah.
But yeah, not doing shots is a good way to not get sick. And not have problems.
I've had one hangover in my life, and it just wasn't worth it. Just wasn't worth it, guys.
Badger says we're going to the pinball pub and then going for a burger. Ooh, have fun.
Enjoy. Did you get to go to the pinball pub, Joe?
No, that was not something we could fit in. But like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like,
there was a lot going on.
It was a very busy time, and like, as much as I enjoy pinball, like, I'm able to play a lot of pinball in Nashville. Nashville's an amazing pinball city, and so it's not like I was like, ooh, there's some rare games here in London that I wouldn't be able to find back home. Like, we actually have some really serious collectors running arcades here. So, like, if I want to play it, I probably can. The big thing that I did want to do was I wanted to compete in a pinball tournament in England, because your IFPA, International Flipper Pinball Association, profile shows how many tournaments you've been in outside of your home country. And for most people, that's 0. But
makes sense.
So I was like, oh, it would be cool to have a 1 there. You know, it would make it look like I'm, you know, serious about this stuff, which I mean I am, but like, it would just be cool, like, especially because like in the long term, if I'm trying to get like sponsorship from pinball manufacturers and stuff,
Mhm.
if they go check out my that like they're gonna look at that. They're gonna look at my IFPA page in addition to like what are my social media stats and be like, oh, he competed in a tournament in England. That's this is somebody who is seriously bridging gaps in the community and blah blah. It would help, but
It would help,
I wasn't
yes.
able to. It would Badger Spanner writes, but it was in Croydon and there was a tube strike.
Oh, but it was in Croydon is arguably the best way to do that.
Yeah. So like yeah. So we did not do that because it was in Croydon and there was a tube strike. But like in the long term, if I go back there during a time there's a tournament, we're gonna hopefully be able to make that happen. But
Yeah, good luck going when there's not a tube strike.
but the other thing is though, even if there is a tube strike, like if I'm staying there longer, it might be like instead of staying in, I guess that would be like northwest London for the whole time, maybe the nights of the tournament or before and after we get a hotel down there. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if there are hotels in Croydon. The way people talk about it, there might not be, but I would like to assume
There are
there are.
hotels everywhere in the UK,
Well,
Joe.
that's what I figured, but like this is the sort of thing
But
that I
whether
kept.
you want to go to them is a whole other matter.
Yeah, no, but like I was anytime that I mentioned going to Croydon, everybody's like, no, don't. There's nothing there, and I'm like, okay, does nothing include hotels? That might be a reasonable thing to be included in nothing. I don't know.
I, I, all I'm saying, Joe,
Yeah.
is that if I had a choice to not go to Croydon, I wouldn't go to Croydon. And I've had to go to Croydon before, so yep.
Well, so the problem is that like in central London and like closer to where Badger lives, real estate's too expensive to have like the critical number of machines, the critical mass to have like a real tournament. So, like that's one of the reasons that Nashville can be a good pinball city is because unlike Manhattan, our real estate is reasonable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so like there are pubs in London that have a few pinball machines, but they don't necessarily have like the 16 to 24 you'd need to throw a tournament until you get out to Croydon.
Just, yeah, no, it's fine.
Badger Spinner says, "I think there's a Premier Inn at least. See, that's Premier. Like, if I've learned anything from Ted Lasso, the Premier League is the good one.
Premier Inn is okay. I would stay at a Premier Inn.
Mm-hmm.
Have done, I think. And that's all I will say on the matter. I'll let chat do the rest.
Okay.
You're more curious about the countryside. I mean, like, if you've seen one countryside in the UK, you've kind of seen them all.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of biodiversity in the countryside because, we are an island. Premier has really comfy beds. They're not bad.
Clue Emily says Premier Inn is my go-to when I've been to London to see shows, and Badger says I prefer them over Travelodge, but not fussy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not sure Freyu says my local pinball arcade also has live concerts, so I played pinball for the first time and then got to hear local sludge metal bands. Hey, that's pretty cool.
I guess it is if you like sludge metal bands. I don't know what a sludge metal band is. Hey, JT has resubscribed for 23 months. Thank you very much.
Well, you know
It's
how like
appreciated.
if you put stuff in a barrel, it'll kind of separate over time.
Sure,
Sure.
sure. Was there any?
So the metal bands go around the barrel, and the bottom of the barrel is where the sludge is.
I
So
thought
the
this was
the
going in a
lowest
different
metal band on
direction.
a barrel is the sludge metal band.
Makes sense. Yep. I'm in Kent visiting girlfriend, and the countryside heading down was lovely. Yeah, Kent's pretty affluent. The countryside's lovely. To be fair, the countryside can be really nice wherever you go, but it is the same wherever you go. I mean, the only place you're going to get different is Moorland.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the bleakest countryside, feel free to head to Dorset. Honestly, it's not that bad. I used to live in Stoke. Always wanted to go to the UK because it had similar weather to where you live.
Why would you want to go somewhere similar to where you live? I want to go places.
Some people like familiarity, Joe. Moorlands.
Yeah, I like to go to different places from where I live. I don't know.
I mean, some people like familiarity, Joe. Is all I can say to you.
Hey, Cleo, somebody's greeting you in your chat.
Hey, Jem. How you doing? My favourite. Love you, Jem.
Cleo was just talking about how she's everyone's favorite here. But clearly, you're her favorite. So all of the people here direct their favoritism toward Cleo like a prism. Then that energy, or reverse prism, is just directly favorited into Gem. Oh, there's actually diffraction in gems too, so that could be I don't know where this is going.
I don't know where you're going with it.
This analogy is falling apart, but in really interesting ways physically.
No, Jem, you're the best. You killed Etho like a bunch for me, and that's the best thing I've ever seen. It really was the best thing. So thank you, Bakura, for gifting a sub to Gem. It's appreciated. Magnum Indy cheering bit saying good morning, Cleo, Joe, and Gem. Mini Cheese Mouse tip 690 saying hope the teeth are better and the house hunting is a go-go. Still waiting on my what do you call them? The people that do money, accountants.
Oh.
Spent your whole morning making a statue of yourself holding a sword. Would you like some help with that? Would you like a mini gem with a sword? Because I could do mini gems around the base.
Oh, see, that's the thing, Cleo, is people love it when they work really hard on something in Minecraft, and then you build a better version of it next to theirs.
I didn't say better, I said smaller. Different, I suppose.
I mean, I don't know if you know much
about... what I would like, Gem, is like... Sorry, Joe, I realise you're criticising me, but I want to tell Gem something. What I want little mini gems fighting each other along the base of that statue. That would be really cool. And then, like, crying ethos on the side. I'm sure you've got enough etho heads for that. Just endless crying etho. You do
That's a lot of etho heads.
I mean, she came by modestly.
Meanwhile, I've got my first tip of the stream rolling in from Mini Cheese Mouse. Thank you, Mini Cheese Mouse. So we're going to go ahead and rotate the camera 7 degrees. Mini Cheese Mouse writes, rotate hills is. Yay.
Yes, we need to talk about Dwarven Barrels. I am
we're just talking about barrels.
Everything is wrapping up this week. So we can still do that. That's cool. Dwarven Barrels. I did say I needed to thank you properly, because I do. Etho was an incredibly good sport about everything. Just so you all guys know.
That's nice.
We recorded with him on Monday, and he didn't hold it against me whatsoever. I'm not so sure I could say the same about Jem. He didn't hold it against me. Yeah, Etho had audio issues, so I'm not surprised he didn't upload it because he didn't get any audio.
Oh, jeez.
It's the worst.
It's
Last night not last night, Monday I recorded it, and this laptop recorded the Minecraft loading screen for an hour and a half. So now I have to go get replay and then edit that in. Because this laptop is the best thing I own.
Yeah, I know, right?
He can hold it. He can try to hold it against you. It's not going to work. Right. Like, genuinely, it's nothing to do with me, and I'm finding it hilarious, Jeff. It's only partially to do with me. Glad that Etho's been a good sport. Like, everyone would be a good, like everyone in that group is pretty much a good sport about everything. I mean, they might like a lot of times people play parts, but you have to realize they're playing a part. They're like, no one's really angry. No one's really angry.
Never.
At least I hope not, because otherwise I've got a real big problem.
Oh, yeah.
Don't have a ruler there. Love it when Skiz try to retaliate. Oh, I love Skiz. Skiz is great. He gave me my affirmation this episode.
Oh, what are you going to do with that?
I don't know how to take it, because my affirmation was fierce, and I'm like, okay, is that? I don't. Okay. I think what he meant to say was aggressive, which is different, but sure, Skiz. My favourite part about the Skiz attacking was, or rather not attacking, was he ate a golden apple in preparation, and then looked at everyone around him and went, "I'm not going to get away with this," and just then bailed.
Just wasted the apple and runs.
He just wasted the apple and ran. It was like, okay, Skiz, you do you. I was so suspicious because it was the first time I'd heard about the affirmations, but apparently they've been a thing this whole time.
See,
and I was just the last one.
Yeah,
so
that's how it goes sometimes. Like, you just don't know.
I mean, my name does have a Z in it, so, you know. At the beginning, no less.
Mm.
He's been doing it since episode 1. Yeah. You are fist. Am I, though? Not convinced. Golden tetrapod. Golden tetrapod has subscribed. Welcome to the Horde. If you look to your left and to your right, you'll see there are no exits. But the affirmations are great. And NX Super has resubscribed for 20 months. Thank you. He's gotten through all of them. He gave us a list of them in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And there were insults for his best friend. Tango and Impulse had insults next to their name instead of the real thing. It was quite funny. I enjoyed that. I don't think that's the one that's going to be released to the public. It was very on brand. I didn't even notice until Scott pointed out the discrepancy. You all right, Joe?
Yeah, I'm feel like I'm overthinking this. That might not be true, but I have been staring at this piece of paper for 34 minutes without making a single mark. So
it does feel a bit like overthinking, Joe.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna start just making some mistakes and then overcorrecting instead of overthinking.
Okay. Hedge Knight, subscribed. Welcome to the Horde. Oh, no, not welcome to the Horde. We've been here for now a year. I can see why I get those things mixed up. Have a lovely day, you too. I appreciate you. There was a lot of death going on that first episode. Like, there's been a lot more death this season than any other because there was more opportunity. Okay. Like, I've got... It's multicolored. It doesn't matter what the lines are. Let's just go... I don't know where all my pencils are. Oh, there they are. That's fine. Use my pens. Where are my pens? And there's pink and blue. Do I have purple? That would make these nicer. No, I do not. Okay, so just pink and blue. That's fine. I can deal with pink and blue. Oh, hang on. Let's put the numbers in first. Because we start on a Monday this month. Next month.
That's one thing I like about Stardew Valley is that the calendar, it's like the first day of the month is always a Monday. The months are 28 days long, and each season is 1 month long. It's very simple and streamlined.
It's very easy. I was watching Gem play, and I was just like, I need to get into Stardew Valley again. I've not seen some of this stuff.
They have a multiplayer feature they added in like 1.5, I think, or 1.3. I don't know. At some point, they added multiplayer. So yeah, if you wanted to do it as a multiplayer stream or series, I would definitely be down for that.
We'll see.
'Cause I've been trying to figure out
when. No, my brain is thinking. It depends on when I have streams available. Because things have been up in the air recently, and I want to get maybe in a couple of months.
Oh, it doesn't have to be anytime soon, because because the other thing is I think they're going to do the big final content patch at some point in the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
And so I was thinking, depending on when that landed, that'd be a good time to do like a multiplayer series. Like, probably a lot of the stuff they add is going to be end game things, so we'd have to kind of speed run the early game. But if we've already played the early game ourselves, we could kind of power through that stuff pretty quick.
Yeah, cool.
Hunter Colony says Stardew's more stressful in multiplayer because time doesn't pause. Yeah, when you open inventories and stuff, things keep moving. But I'm used to that from Minecraft, so when my daughter
doesn't matter as much in Minecraft.
Well, but when my daughter and I play multiplayer, I don't really notice a difference in the it doesn't feel more stressful to me.
Okay. How's the computer going? It should be back today. I'm waiting on a call, and if it doesn't come, I'm going to go over there in an hour and a half? Have we only been going half an hour? Jeez.
No, this has not been a very long stream. I know it feels like it's going on forever. Because I'm just that unbearable today. But Canarosha says our tip's not coming through. Well, I haven't
My previous tip didn't... Canarosha, yeah, it says my previous tip didn't come through, so I hope this one does. I think you're fierce for what it's worth. Of course, we only have an outside view. Thank you. I'm pretty sure I read out your tip before. Not everything, the tips are coming through, but they're not, the overlay is not working. The overlay is not working right now. So if that's what you're asking about, that's what's going on. Oh yeah, I did do that multiplayer stream with Abby at one point.
Was that multiplayer Stardew? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, never mind. I mean, if this is old hat for you, we can find you a newer hat.
Because it's like like Abby was being Abby, so it's like going on with you can't be worse.
No, not at all.
Oh, thank you, Dormabell. Dormabell coming in with 5 gifted subs again. Thank you so much. It's appreciated. I've done so many streams of different things with different people that my brain is just like, did I do that? Or is that something in the fever dream aspect of things? Which it often is, let's be honest. Did I do that or did I imagine it?
Did I
Yes.
do that?
Oh, that's from that guy.
Oh yeah, the guy who voiced Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right. That guy is a thing that we don't really have over here.
Oh yeah, you didn't
So
have
I've heard
members.
that from Americans. Did I do that? And it's just sort of like, yeah, you did. What can we do about it?
Sure did, bloke, mate. I don't know. I'm tired.
Sure did, bruv. In it.
Bruv.
Birds are actually really calming.
Yeah.
Jameel White, aka Urkel. That's the puppy.
Jameel White.
Rye Plays has resubscribed for 12 months. Commander Raven has resubscribed for 7 months, saying day 213. Found another cache of supplies on one of the lower levels. Still no exits, but at least fresh water is leaking in from somewhere. That's not fresh water. Just saying. Be careful.
Easy in, easy out. I thought I had a good idea here, but I'm realizing I don't.
What is your idea? Verbalize. Maybe we can help.
Well, I thought like having this array of 6 drop targets that looks like solar panels on the left side would be interesting in terms of setting up a skill shot and stuff, but I'm realizing it blocks off a bunch of opportunities for other shots, so I need to move it somewhere. So I'm just thinking about where to move it.
So what you're actually saying is this really complex pinball thing that I understand is really difficult.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust in your ability and say, yeah, you should definitely move that somewhere else. Where is the best place for it?
Well, I'm starting to think the best place for it is toward the top here. At this scale, it would be about 7 centimeters long, which doesn't give me a lot of options. Unless I want to move this pop bumper, which I might need to do. Yeah.
I'm still learning access. Is that Essex?
Oh, if Badger Spanner's still here, the person I was trying to think of the other day was Joey Essex. When I was like, there's that guy Joe who seems like he's kind of thick. And you're like, do you mean Rob? And I'm like, there's also a guy named Rob who's kind of thick. But no, the Joe I was thinking of who's kind of thick is Joey Essex. Now B says these are each representing blocks. I'm like, no. Each of these 7 centimeters represent drop targets that would be 6 blocks wide each. This whole thing is gigantic.
Yeah, my brain is going, sounds like you want it to be playable. Is it going to be playable? It's not, is it?
Well, I want it to make sense. Like,
yeah.
It's going to take so much time to build this in game that, like, I want somebody who looks at this to go, like, that's somebody who understands the geometry of a pinball machine, not somebody who's like, wow, you spent 18 months of your life making something that doesn't even represent a playable, like, the geometry on this is just, like, I don't want it to be blatantly wrong. It doesn't have to be perfectly correct, but, like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm making some mistakes here that are going to be blatantly wrong. I need to tweak this. It should look playable. The teeth thing made me think of Rob Beckett, says Badger Spanner. Well, that's the thing, though, is there... I was conflating both of them. There were two people who were thick on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown.
Oh, were you asking if thick was an Essex slang? Is that what was going on?
No, I was trying to, I was asking a question about how much of that was an act.
Oh.
I was just like,
Look, Jem, your accent was great until you hit the word sorry.
how do you say it? Sorry.
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 And the way Jem was going was sorry, and it was like no.
Soiree.
Everything else was good up until
I'm off
that
to
point.
this soiree to apologize to the other dancers whose feet I trod upon.
Aside from that moment, your accent was amazing, Jem. But then B-dub started, and then it was just like, oh no, now I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
First time catching one of your streams. Keep up the good work. Oh wow. I appreciate the self-care reminder. I really couldn't remember hearing a single British person say that word. Wow, that says something about. I think that says more about us than it does about you. Jamon, thank you for the 20-month resub. It's very much appreciated.
I'm like, where's my eraser? Sorry.
Okay, so I've got my money stuff done. That's just a regular calendar. Okay, so I don't know what the quote is, but let's try doing some writing for May. And I always crunch. I'm going to get my handy dandy calligraphy book. Yep, that's a word. Didn't mess that one up at all.
It's a
I didn't mess it up at all. It was great.
Good word, Cleo. Good word.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna switch these drop targets up here to a captive ball. That hits a spot target behind it.
The Canadian struggled with somebody else's. Sorry. I mean, that's reasonable, I feel.
Cheesemouth says maybe make a construction paper playfield, have pieces of paper shaped as your parts, and you can move them around. I feel like I'm not quite at that stage yet. I'm still. I feel like that's a step I'm probably gonna get to, but right now I'm kind of just trying to figure out core concepts. Parts of this, though, are going to be dependent on things that are not easy to cut out and move around, like the actual shape of the playfield I'm, like, changing, which would be a real pain to recut constantly. Okay.
Yes, the Wullabum. Yeah. Scar is good at words. I'm watching Cleo make this and a previous one about a month or two in advance. Oh, you're talking about my bullet journal? Yeah, I like, we're in April, so obviously I've got April like done. Haven't put anything in it because my April has been just a whole mess of not knowing what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
mood.
I do it a month in advance, but like do it like honestly, the reason why I can do it so much is because I have this time with Joe.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have this time with Joe, it would be nowhere near as pretty, or you know, it would be more functional. Are you doing the succulents and cat? Hey, yes, I am. I showed them at the beginning of the stream. Excuse me.
The Nope Queen says Gemby Cleo was amazing. But I don't know. I think Zombinai Tay is a little bit... Or Zombinai Cleo. I don't know. There might be better...
There's been some good fan art that's come out of it. And I have found it very funny. It's awesome that you both do these streams. You're very welcome to come and join us, Gem.
Yeah,
I know it's a stretch, but you're always welcome.
I can be pretty unbearable, so I understand if you want to wait till a week I can't make it, and then just join Cleo. My feelings will not be hurt. I promise.
Look, if there is ever a week that Joe can't make it, I will call Gem. Or take the week off. That's the other option I can do.
Yeah. Cleo's like, oh, week off. I win.
Jem says you're not unbearable at all. I love you, but we love you too.
Jen.
But Joe can be unbearable at times. So can I.
I know.
So can I.
Everybody needs a break from Joe for a while sometimes.
Sometimes, you know. But yeah, I did all the cactuses. I did learn how to do them. I've forgotten how to do them. I did do the class, and I did learn how to do them all. Hey, Anna. And not acknowledge that Joe isn't Joe, but is actually Joe. I just keep on calling Jem Joe the whole time. Is that as Jem's lot in life, just to be recognised as somebody else continuously?
Whoa! We just got a tip rolling in from Toxic Glitter, who he was writing the other day about getting a promotion and a big bonus.
Nice.
And he has followed up that. Apparently, that conversation's still going, because he just tipped me $360 and adds, "It was a big bonus." So congratulations once more to Toxic Glitter. We're gonna start rotating that camera.
Just do it all the way around.
All the way around. It's gonna take a while, and then I'm gonna have to. So when we actually hit 360 on the rotational camera, I do get the Beetlejuice out. So.
Oh my!
So yeah,
okay,
that's a real treat for the craft stream crowd.
So thank you, Mathematical Jackal, for the 500 biddies. I do appreciate you. It's really nice.
So thank you very much, Toxic. Nymph says Jem trying to do a Joe accent would be very amusing. Not as amusing as Beetlejuice would probably.
Beetlejuice. One of these days we'll tune into a Wednesday craft room and it will be Force and Jem pretending to be Cleo and Jem. I honestly think that Force has the same. Me and Force have the same deadpan humour. It's really weird, and it's for some reason it's only Force and Jem that I do this with, but I match their energy.
Mm-hmm.
So with Force, Force is very deadpan and sarcastic, and I get even more deadpan and sarcastic, and we start heading down the drier and drier, more sarcastic. When I'm with Jem,
my hands get more and more
hyper. No offense, Jem. I get more and more hyper, and it sounds like parody, but it's not. It's just me getting more and more and more and more excited.
Oh boy!
It's just those two people. With everyone else, I can just do me, but with you two, it's just like I just energy match, and it's just like it feels like parody at times, and I've been told off. I remember in my comments, somebody says, "Oh, Jem must be really offended that you're just making fun of her all the time." I'm like, I wasn't making fun of her. I was just genuinely just excited to be there.
I gotta say, the hardest conversation I ever had at my old day job, or one of my old day jobs, was when I was presenting some work at this thing where prospective students were visiting the campus that I worked at. And I was using my professional voice, which is more like, "Hi, why don't you take a look at this?" But it's a little bit more showman-y, but like no accent in terms of like regionality. So you're interested in attending, the university, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. And this guy walks up and he's like, I don't know. What would a farm boy from Missouri have in common with the folks here? And I'm like, well, now I want to talk like this, but it's since I just did this like step right up and learn more about opportunities at the university voice. It's like I can't just change in the middle. Like I mean,
I can't change. I want to now, but
I
dear
want
God.
to now, and I'm like, because he's gonna think I'm making fun of him.
I mean, he would be right at the point. I've never read it as if you were mocking, offending Jem anyway. It just totally reminded my friends who were fairly quiet alone, but when we got to... Yeah, I think like Jem has like there are two sides to Cleo. One is the really hyperactive and ridiculous side, and then there's the deadpan dry side. And I think it's just they both bring it out of me.
I'm at 340 degrees of rotation.
Come on, Joe.
I'm gonna have to spend all 360 of these dollars on finger surgery. This rotating the mouse wheel this much is a lot. Okay, I'm almost there. 360. Woo! Time to get the Beetlejuice outfit. Normally we play a song on the stream, Cleo, but because you're here and you wouldn't be able to hear it, that seems rude.
I mean, you can play a song. I'm going to talk over it, but you know.
Yeah. Well, instead I'll just shout the lyrics of the song at you. Webcam expander, webcam expander. I don't know. I have the lyrics written down somewhere. Hold on. I normally don't have to sing this song because it's on the.
I'm wanting this.
Yeah. Okay. Dear live stream viewers, will you watch my face? It took up your screens, then began to fade. It replaced some pixels from a game you like, and this is my job. Yeah, I wanna be a webcam expander. Webcam expander. It's off-color optics from a broken cam, and some of the chat just throws up its hands. The ghost is Beetle for showtime now. It's a heady job. And he wants to be a webcam expander. Webcam expander. Webcam expander. Webcam expander. And then we're going to rotate another 7 degrees because we had got that tip from Mini Cheese Mouse earlier.
Yeah.
So there we go. I'm back at 7 degrees.
Excellent. Well done, Joe. Well done. Somebody asked me if these cactus designs are my own. No. I am going to... I feel like I need to mute Joe because I'm going to shill for a second.
What are you going to shill?
The thing for my sponsored stream.
Oh, am I allowed to mock it openly?
No.
Then you should probably mute me, not you.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm going to deafen. I'll be right back.
So anyway, whatever Cleo's trying to sell you, you got to ask yourself, how many olives or pickles or both could I buy with this amount of money? If Cleo's going to sell you a $60 pair of shoes you don't need, you already got shoes. You got to bust out the calculus and say a jar of pickles is this much money, a jar of olives is that much money. If I want to get the optimal amount of calories here without having zero diversity in my long-term diet, you got to figure that out. You got to do that math. I don't know if people can still hear me on Cleo's screen but that's my best case scenario, is that she muted herself so I can't hear her, but she can still hear me. So anyway, thank you again to Toxic Glitter for putting us $7 past the Beetlejuice threshold.
Hi, how are you doing? Have you successfully Beetlejuiced?
Yeah, I've been Beetlejuiced. That was when I did the song. Remember, I did the song.
Yeah, no. I was asking if it was successful, which
I don't know what a non-successful Beetlejuice looks like. I haven't never seen.
Well, have you looked in the mirror recently?
No, because I punched the ball when I first got here, and at a certain point, why?
Why what specifically?
Why put something so punchable in my house or apartment, right?
I mean, Joe lives there, so, I can't really...
That sounds like a him problem.
I mean, yeah, no, I think living with the Beetlejuice would be a him problem, to be fair.
Uh, no worse than living with a Joe Hills. I mean, clearly that's you gotta, at a certain point, it's like you gotta look at these things in perspective, Cleo.
I have a lot of perspective.
Oh yeah, that's pretty clear.
My face, what?
What did you doing for?
Somebody just went, your face, and I'm like, what? Could you rotate 180 your camera? No, we've established this many times. Not this week. Next week, yes. Not this week.
Yeah, so Cleo got one of those laptops that arbitrarily disables a bunch of the software settings in OBS. They're pretty rare. You don't see them in the wild too often. But Cleo, she has that discerning eye when it comes to electronics purchases.
I'm not going to say anything because it's easier. Why am I talking with Napa? I don't know who Napa is.
Oh, Napa is a wine region in California.
Okay.
They're famous for having shredded vocal cords from drinking too much wine. Why not, you might ask?
You might. I didn't, but you might.
You definitely did not. And then, that's to your credit. You saw that wasn't going to go anywhere helpful. And we kept moving.
We did. We're
Okay.
just keeping.
Yeah, we're just gonna continue moving.
Oh, Joe said the mirror looks punchable. Wouldn't that just be your own face? I mean, I think that might have been the joke.
I mean, I'm not gonna add .jpeg at the end of that, but I mean, you can read into that as you will. Yeah, that might not be steep enough, but you know what? We'll see.
Joe sounds like a 40-a-day smoker wine. Predicting dangerously loose. No thanks. He does sound like he smokes a lot, though. Which, as I know, Joe doesn't smoke. But does the Beetlejuice smoke, is the question.
No. It's not a very cost-effective habit.
And we're all about cost-effective on this stream.
Yeah, you know how much this eraser cost?
20p?
I don't know, because I've been using it for like 10 years. And I'm too lazy to adjust it for inflation.
How do you get a razor to stay in your house for like 10 years?
Oh, well, I keep it in this bag.
Crunch.
Which is why I couldn't find it. Because I was like, where's my eraser? Oh yeah, it's in my art supplies bag. Because I actually put it away for once when I was reorganizing the studio.
I put it away for once.
Yeah. I found a lot of great stuff, though, reorganizing the studio. Next problem.
I mean, I have so many of those problems, Joe. Fine. What happened to Joe? Joe became the Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
It's Joe's thing.
Yeah.
He aggressively becomes a villain.
Why not?
Which is interesting, because I don't think Joe could pull off real villain.
What do you mean?
Like in real life, like, if there was anyone who was not going to be a villain.
Oh, no, I don't think that's true at all. I really think, in, like, a multiverse setting, like, have you seen Loki?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know, I could definitely see, like, that sort of Kang-type scenario, happening.
Okay.
I genuinely would be afraid of, I feel like for some people, compassion is learned best through experience. where if you have too pragmatic of a natural worldview and you aren't confronted about it as you're growing up, that pragmatism
so what
can...
you're saying is you had a confrontation early on in your development.
No, I've had several over the course of my life. I recognize that there are several times where I became a more compassionate and understanding person than I would have otherwise. I wasn't on a track for that. Like because my natural intuition is to be a pragmatic problem solver, and I would make assumptions about what is best for other people that are not necessarily valid. If I hadn't had those assumptions invalidated at various points in my life, I feel like I could be a very terrifying villain.
But you would be a terrifying villain in the course of, I just want to do the right thing for everybody, and I know what's best.
Exactly.
Right, yeah. No, I can see that being a problem. I don't... Like... I mean, I can easily pretend to be a villain, but I don't think I could ever actually, do it. I don't know. I've always been quite, oh my god, what's wrong with you, kind of thing, rather than assuming what other people were feeling. I've always been more of an ask kind of person. So.
But, like, I mean, I'm not saying that this is exactly a description of me, but to provide a little bit of clarity here, there's a certain clarity of purpose and pragmatism you see in people like eco-terrorists and whatnot.
Yes.
Where they feel like they're genuinely trying to help people, and they're trying to work on a problem other people are ignoring.
Understand.
And I see how that's the sort of thing that if you are not raised in an environment that helps you kind of look past that impulse toward pragmatism, that can be a big problem.
Yeah, no, that I can see where that. Thank you, McLesley, for the 20-month resub, and I'm actually feeling all right. I'm not in pain because I have paracetamol, but the pain is much less today. Bon cheered Cleo biddies. Thank you. I appreciate that, even though the overlay is not working today. And McLesley gifted a sub. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that. So what we're saying in another universe, Joe, is poison ivy.
Toxic Glitter writes, it occurs to me that Joe is a nice, mild-mannered guy. Then he accumulates the smallest amount of wealth and turns into a full villain, which feels like a good metaphor for the real world. Well, hey, I mean, there's a reason that when we hit a certain point with the money coming in, I put on these Jacob Marley chains. You know? I do.
Joe's metaphors, when you look at them, are not really metaphors.
These metaphors are actually really helpful reminders for me that I need to be investing
Does he have chains? Yes,
in a
he
better
has
world at a broader standpoint.
Of course Joe has chains. Why wouldn't Joe have chains? I mean, to be fair, I think I've got chains somewhere.
I've told this story before, but not everybody has heard it. So I asked my brother CJ. I was thinking, like, man, I really should get some chains for when I do the Christmas Carol bit on my stream. And my brother CJ texted me, hey, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, oh, normally I'm one of those people that's like, oh, I don't know, I'll get back to you in like 4 months. And then I don't get back to people, and then they just buy me a bottle of whiskey. Because they're like, I don't know. So, because I'm bad at needing things. Usually if I need something, I just go buy it. And if I want something, because it's not a need, I don't actually have time to enjoy it anyway. So I could say, oh, I'd like this book. But realistically, I'll get to that book 3 years later. And that just makes me sad. So I don't ask for it. So Anyway, so my brother CJ, who is actually, I need to clean the house. He's coming to visit today. Uh, yeah, it's a whole thing. So anyway, so CJ texted me, "What do you want for Christmas?" I was like, 10 feet of chain. He's like, "Okay, great. No questions." He doesn't say no questions. He just says, "Okay, great." He goes to the hardware store and he's like looking at these different types of chain, and the hardware store shop assistant or whatever comes over and is like, so how many pounds do you need the chain rated for?" And my brother CJ goes, "I don't know. It's a Christmas gift for my brother. He says he needs 10 feet, but he didn't say for what. Knowing him, he's either going to be lifting something incredibly heavy or doing a Jacob Marley bit." And, yeah, so it was a Jacob Marley bit. But
I feel called out, and therefore it's not fair.
Manty Gag says, "You're already at Beetlejuice." Sure am. Thanks again to Toxic Glitter for sharing the wealth from his
We appreciate
clearly
Toxic
well-earned
Glitter.
promotion.
And congratulations once more.
Yeah. Congratulations once more to Toxic Glitter. Yeah. It's, but no, I really, I feel like if I didn't put, I feel like it is important to meet people from different backgrounds and different experiences and be reminded again and again that you can be wrong about things that you didn't know it was possible to be wrong about. You can, there's all sorts of ways that humanity is interesting and nuanced, and when you can't start making decisions for other people. You need to really find ways to empower people to make decisions for themselves. But in a multiverse of Joe Hillses, I don't know that all of me would have had those experiences. So I don't know. So chains I forged in life, here to remind me humanity is my business. Also, because I feel like I'm dealing with so many crises all the time at home, being like a single parent and like trying to just like, when am I gonna have time to cook dinner and clean up from dinner? Right? Like that's the sort of level of my problems. But like I need to remember that there are other people out there with other problems, and that there might be ways I can help them that are disproportionately valuable. A little bit of effort on my part could help them in large ways.
Yeah.
And I need to, I accept my limitations. There's only 24 hours a day, and I need to sleep for at least 4 to 5 of them.
I've never known you to accept your limitation.
What do you mean? I'm hiring a immigration attorney. That's.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
That's.
But that was only after that you
It
figured
took
out.
4
no,
months. It took 4 months.
It's like I can't do this. I've tried.
Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, like, wait, what was I guess? I completely lost where I was going with this. Accept my own limitations. Oh, yeah. Even though I'm constantly feeling busy and buried with stuff to do, I need to remind myself, look for little ways to help where I can. And, with things that are outside of my direct sphere of concern. Find ways to encourage and empower other people who have energy and time, to do things that I don't.
I understand.
Interests I lack. I don't know. Sorry, we're kind of going on a rant here.
That's fine. I was just laughing at JT said this may be a thorny opinion, but those cacti are on point, and I appreciate you, JT. Terrible pun, but I appreciate it. And that's not a 10 out of 10. It was good, but it's not 10 out of 10. Pun-wise. Disagree. Hard disagree.
Nosferatu says saying what you want for gifts is hard because a lot of times either it's stuff you already got for yourself or you don't want to own things or things are too expensive to ask other people for. Yeah, well, for not wanting to own things, I will say, like, the aesthetic of my apartment for the last 4 years or so, maybe however long it's been since I got served the divorce papers, the aesthetic of my home has been, I might be moving soon. Like, I don't acquire things because I'm like, I might be moving soon. And then stuff will be like awkwardly like piled up in a corner, and I'm like, should I buy a shelf for that? And I'm like, but what if there's not space for it in the new place? I might have to give away some of this stuff to make room for it anyway. Like, I don't know.
I am still waiting on my accountants to do the taxes. But to be fair, you know, taxes were only due in 2 days ago, so not due in, only open to be due in 2 days ago. So I'm giving them a break, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So is what it is.
I am very optimistic about your home buying, Cleo.
So am I, because if I fail at this, then I will cry like for a good long month.
Oh, wow, that's a long month.
I mean, you know what? It's already been a long month. Taxes, oh no! Look.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think May is one of those 31-day months. So yeah, that's a good long month.
It's a good long month. Well, honestly, I think like I don't see why I would be denied. Let's put it like that.
That's how I feel every time I ask for a loan. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go well.
Difference is I have never been, no one has ever told me no.
Wow, that must be nice. Yeah, because they're constantly like, oh boy, if you had applied for this loan before you quit your day job to make more money as a business owner, we could totally have given you this loan. And I'm like,
I mean, granted, I don't get loans from any. I tend to save up rather than. Yeah, America does seem like, just in general, America just seems harder in life than anywhere else.
I filed my taxes twice the other day. The first time, and then I filed the amended return after I had emailed. I'm required, as part of the custody agreement, to email my taxes to my ex, who pointed out a concern, and I was like, So then I had to file amended taxes. To fix
it's extra galling that it was your ex that pointed it.
Well, so the thing is, per the custody agreement, I can't claim my daughter as a dependent.
Ah.
And
but
even
she's with you like 90% of the time.
Yeah, well, the idea was that the extra money would be used by my ex for travel expenses to come see her.
But she's not. We're in public. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. So anyway.
Anyway.
So even though I told the tax software several times not to list my daughter as a dependent, it listed her anyway. Now, it apparently listened. It listened to me enough to not factor her into the math.
Mm-hmm.
So the math on what I owed or whatever didn't change, but the fact that she was listed at all, I would have been in contempt of court.
Oh.
So
I see.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
Thanks. I think it's very pretty too. I'm going to see if I can do a gold sun that doesn't look like poo. It might look like poo though. So I believe in me.
I believe in you too, Cleo.
I appreciate that, Joe. Because speaking to my family, oh boy.
Did they not believe it?
Yeah. No. They don't understand what it is I do. They don't understand how I make money. So therefore they're very concerned. And if I showed them this video, they would go, I don't understand. So.
Well, because I'm being weird.
No, because I'm drawing.
Oh.
And it's, it's not that they don't want to understand, it's just that they don't. So, yeah. It's just sort of like, every so often I get, so you're okay, right? And it's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing really well. And then they look at me and then it's just like, course you're doing really well. Okay, I see.
Like, what would it take for them to, like, uh, for them to go, oh, okay, clearly Cleo is a big deal. Like, if you were, like, on Strictly Come Dancing, would they be like, oh, we get it now?
I mean, my sister would. My dad would still not get it.
Okay.
My dad would aggressively not get it. Like, he's proud of me. He doesn't understand why, though.
Well, I mean, that's something, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just the like he understood when I was teaching. He wasn't concerned about how well I was doing at teaching. Now that I'm arguably doing better than I was when I was teaching, now he's worried.
Well, because teaching has kind of a fixed salary, so it's predictable. And most people who become teachers don't, like, suddenly have the market change under them where they're like, oh, okay, teaching ad revenue is down this month or something, right?
Yeah, no, I get it, but it's all kind of like, trust me, I'm doing all right.
Tropical Punk says, my dad's recently gotten to streaming. He has a better setup than me. That's fair.
Yeah, because he's
got money. Because he's
working
been working
longer, therefore has money.
Decades, yeah.
Like, honestly, when I started YouTube, my setup was diabolical.
That's like a satanic multi-person relationship or something. I don't. What is that?
I mean, I guess so.
That's a really great word, diabolical.
If I said that word to a lot of my poly friends, they were just like, I'm keeping it. Yeah. It's mine now.
It's a good word. Diabolical.
It's a diabolical. I figure people would understand I run a business or I'm a business. Like, my dad understands I run a business, but he doesn't understand what my business does. A diabolicule is the smallest quantum of evil. Polycule of evil being like all the poly people that I know, like, enjoy the idea that they are evil in some form or another. Like, as a kind of, yes, I'm so evil, I love multiple people.
I'm violating
in that sort of
social
jokey
norms.
kind of way. So they you know, so the idea of a diabolicule, they'll enjoy that one. That looks absolutely amazing. I'm actually kind of pleased with that. I didn't expect the sun to do that, but arguably my current thought is, I want to put a face in the sun, and I know that would ruin it.
Well, like, so, baby sun.
My dad does not watch YouTube. My dad did 75.
Well, let's roll this back. Let's roll this back to the face in the sun. Like, baby sun from Teletubbies. Draw the baby sun, Cleo.
Sun. No, I'm not going to draw the baby sun. It would look like poo.
Baby sun, ha 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 ha. Baby sun, ha 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 ha. Baby sun, ha 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 ha. Baby sun.
No, you can't baby shark your way out of this. No. Copyright strike. Oh God.
Yeah, I was pitch perfect there.
It's your dad's birthday today. Ooh. Yeah, go. Yeah. Remember to send a text going, "Happy birthday! I'll see you tomorrow with your present." I'm just looking at the time.
Oh yeah, you got to go computer repair.
I've got to go and get my computer or find out what, because they've not phoned me. I've got to go find out what's going on with my computer.
Your computer, yeah, I guess.
My dad is 17. He's addicted to YouTube. My dad is 76, and he has watched one of my videos that my sister made him watch.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, "That's great. I don't get it." No, I think the thing that my sister says, people pay her for that.
People pay her for that?
I think that's what
It's a scam, isn't
I was
it?
just like, wow, okay.
What's the British slang for scam?
There is no British scam for scam. It's like scam.
Okay, so yeah, bit of a scam, isn't it?
Hey, that's what you might think I'm doing. Like, you wouldn't turn me in for anything, but definitely think I'm doing some kind of scamming. It was one of my Hermitcraft videos from season 7, I think, which means it could be anything. I don't know which one it was, but yeah. So yeah, no, that's my family life. Oh, Arena, thank you for the biddies. It's appreciated. I don't understand why people pay you for this either. Thanks, Arena. Good use of biddies. I appreciate you. Possibly head games. No, my sister would have been very, very careful to not show him something that he would not be able to like get without context. Hey, Zero's gifted a sub. Thank you so much. Okay, I need to get going.
That's fair.
Are you going to stick around for a bit longer, Joe?
Yeah. I think, especially since, folks were so generous with the tips. Well, in particular, Toxic and Mini Cheese Mouse.
Flash raid.
I'm gonna go ahead and... I feel like I'm actually making some progress on this machine.
Joe Hill. Joe, your whole channel is just Joe Hills, isn't it?
Yeah, on Twitch, it's just twitch.tv/Joe Hills, all one word, no underscores, no hyphens, no ampersands, no octothorpes.
This channel is intended for... Yeah, no, we can send people to Joe. He's not that mature. Come on, Joe.
Well, yeah, no, because, I mean, the thing is, I technically sometimes talk about things that the Twitch,
yeah, that's
thing
fair.
yeah. Like,
and Lost Cult Game, thank you for gifting a sub to Corner Critter. And Miss Sani, thank you for the Cleo bits. I appreciate you. And I'm going to send people over to you now.
Thanks, Cleo. Have a good computer.
I'll try.
Oh, she will try.
I'm very trying, Joe.
Bless your heart, you are trying.
All right, I'll catch you later, guys.
Right.
Bye.
Bye, Cleo. If Jem gets bored... No, I don't want to put pressure on Jem. Technically, any hermit who wants to can hop in the chat here. So... yeah, we are just hanging out, palling around here tonight. Or today. Today's gonna be... I was gonna say, this is kind of a weird one, because we've hit Beetlejuice in the craft stream, which normally doesn't happen. So thanks again to Toxic Glitter for that. I am currently working on getting the layout of my pinball machine working, which is its own whole thing here. It's its own whole thing. Got our French curve out. I think that what I want to do is actually have this bit go like... the French curve is slightly too large for that. But basically... Have the saucer here roll in to there. That's worse. Somehow, how did I do it worse? I erased a bad line and I put a worse line in. That's okay. That's okay. We're not here to judge. We're here to get things done. Okay, getting things done there. And so... that can pop off that way. Honestly, with these drop targets, I could have these three here be backed by this bump, if you will. Whoops, dang it. Speaking of bumps, sorry. Sorry, Cleo Raider's like, wow, Cleo leaves for 5 seconds and Joe's immediately elbowing the microphone. But yeah, welcome, Raiders. Thank you so much for joining us. Miss Sani says, why am I not surprised by the blue hands? I don't know, because they make sense. Everything makes sense here. No nonsense on this stream. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. So I'm kind of thinking that these drop targets might not be backed by anything, but I'm not sure how well that actually works. So Another option we have is to have this form like a wedge here, which is interesting in its own way. But, okay. Let's come back to one option we had was to have this angled down here like this toward the pops, and to not have access to the saucer there. But I actually do really like the idea of there being saucer access here. So let's maybe just try that. Like that, maybe? And what we'd actually end up probably doing is moving the saucer up into here. Now, there's also the idea, though, that the... Yeah, I don't know. The art on the... The art on the actual machine, because it's based on a particular satellite, could go back there. Siski says it's weird how much it looks like your hands are painted blue. I mean, why wouldn't they be? Like, I mean, James Cameron perfected this technology and then licensed it to me. Toxic Glitter says, is Beetlejuice still $1 equals 1 degree? Yes. Oh, I see your point, Toxic. Because normally going from Beetlejuice to Joe Mez Adams, you would jump to the $50 milestones, and that would be nearly impossible. But rotating the Beetlejuice 360 degrees would get you Joe Mez Adams. So we're actually only $253 from Joe Mez Adams, which would have been 5 out of many milestones. Oh boy, you found an interesting exploit here. You found an interesting exploit here. Okay, wow, I hadn't... Oh, boy. Okay. So, in the interest of... we're currently 253 away from a full rotation. Cardjewel says, loving the contrast between the singing birds and the Beetlejuice. Microbird says, exploits are often the key to a successful speedrun. Yeah, you're right. A tip just rolled in. Let's see who it's from. Leslie, tipping 5, who says, hopefully it's a bright, sunshiny day for you, Joe. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and rotate the camera another 5 degrees now. So that brings us up to 12 degrees angular. So thank you very much, Leslie, for that. I probably should post the tipping link since we're talking so much about this, just in case other people want to jump in on that. Okay, so Pixelema says, I thought that Joe had rubber gloves on. Geek of Many Topics says, you could make it 2 rotations. It's like, that doesn't feel fair. Crazy Warwick says, what are you working on, Joe? I'm working on the playfield for my pinball machine. For my Minecraft pinball machine. And part of the problem I'm running into is I'm trying to design a playfield that both works well in a pinball context and is an interesting what do you call it, elytra course. So if the player represented by, let's say the player is represented by the jack-o'-lantern that Lego Badger was holding. So we're going to give the flowers back to Lego Badger, but not the jack-o'-lantern right now. Okay. Wow, I'm really apparently terrible at putting... There we go. Okay. Welcome, McLeslie. So, okay, let's say that this Lego jack-o'-lantern is the ball, or the player in the electric course. It comes up here, shoots around there, boom. I think what we want to do for the electric course is have it go bam, 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 and then come down. Now, in real life, if you were playing this with a ball, the ball might do a lot of unpredictable things because it's a ball, depending on how much force you applied. But for the electric course, we're going to have to find a way to redirect the players to, like, bam, bam, and we might end up doing something like that, and then going down there, or... So, I think an interesting skill shot on this table would be getting the ball into the saucer here by having it go... actually, yeah, let's keep using the... Is this actually showing up on the camera? I'm realizing the orange ball might not look very good, but having the ball come up here and then come down, that would be a good skill shot. What I probably need to do is get, like, a Lego stick that I can move that around. Hey, we just got a tip here from Toxic Glitter who says, okay, so the plan was to get the Beetlejuice 3 times because, like, I'm a single man with no real expenses other than rent and food. But I think setting this precedent seems like a better investment. So I think we're about to blow through. So we're at 12 degrees right now. And that's going to go ahead and bring us 2 past. So here we go. It's time to well, no, it's time to jotate. I'm gonna put the mouse on camera here so you can see how the jotation works. I've got the scroll wheel. I'm scrolling. Keep that scroll wheel scrolling. Scrolling. Joe Hills. I do like that the candelabras give a better sense of place on the jotations. Strabo says, depending on the distance, can slime block launchers help simulate a redirection of the players? I don't know if they would work in an Elytra course in a reasonable way for redirection. Speed scrolling for a successful rotation. Speed run. And I see another tip rolled in. I'm going to read that after. I'm going to have to go to the other room because the Jomez Adams jacket is actually, like, my nicest suit jacket. Sadly, this is probably my second nicest. I did not think when I bought this suit jacket that it would be this nice. But, like, I actually keep my my Jomez Adams suit in, like, a proper garment bag and stuff because, like, if I have to go to funerals or weddings or anything basically important, that's actually the suit I wear. So we are up to 185, 186 degrees angular. Woo! We need to get Joe a mouse with a frictionless scroll wheel option. Oh, so it'd be like the spinner on a pinball machine. I've had mice like that, and I didn't really like them. What if I hold the up button on the keyboard while I'm also scrolling? Does that go faster? Oh yeah, if I do both at the same time, it actually increases the speed, I think. It accepts the double inputs. Woo! This is actually a really good mouse. I like this mouse on the whole. You think no OBS would have a numerical input for this? It does, but that's not as fun as rotating the camera. There we go, 360 degrees. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna sing while I go get the other suit jacket, so y'all can kind of get a sense of the space. What should I sing? I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. And then we are going to go over here and boom. And also, let's see. Oh, actually, hold on. How do I fix that over here? Filters. We've never had this happen before on the craft stream. So I don't have this set up for this properly. But I will now have it set up. So ring cam filters, paste. There we go. Okay. And now we got to go back and so Toxic actually put us $2 past the target there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to rotate up to 2 degrees angular. And then we're going to acknowledge any other tips that might have rolled in, because at least one more tip rolled in. Thank you again, Toxic, for that. We have successfully speed ran Jomez Adams, a craft stream first. And Natsu Freyu tips 107, who says, to help spin you around. I don't know what will happen. I don't think we've ever gotten past Jomez Adams. So, I guess I could get the David Pumpkin suit out or something. I don't even know. But I'm gonna probably go into my closet and I don't even know. We've done David Pumpkins as a Halloween alternative, but I don't think we've done David Pumpkins outside of oops, I went too far. I need to go to 109. Just rolling that back, 109. Is it always David Pumpkins or only in October? I think we do David Pumpkins in October. But yeah, we could do David Pumpkins next if we somehow get let's see, we're at 109 degrees angular out of 360. The green bodysuit is in here, but it's very hard to do work in. Okay. So let's speaking of doing work, I feel like I'm actually making progress here. So let's try to do some more of that. I feel like in terms of how this is going, or how this is going to go, we want to have this set up so that this goes at an angle where if you do it right, it's going to go up and possibly around. If you underplunge, you could have it go down here and then fall. We probably want to have a bank of... Oh, I wanted to put in a spinner. I wanted to put in a spinner here, I think. Yeah, spinner. So post, spinner. So spinner here. We're actually putting components on. Yeah. Okay, just as a quick reminder, if people are interested in tipping and rotating the camera further, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay, so we put the spinner here. I feel like... we haven't had a double flipper table like Paragon in a while. There's Starship Troopers, there's Paragon. Joker Poker? Does Joker Poker have a split flipper? No. What is it? Is it Big Game? Big Game, probably. Kindle says a quad flipper table. Well, so what I'm thinking is like a split flipper makes it impossible to it does break the traditional Italian bottom, but this is supposed to be kind of a independent, goofy feeling. This should feel like it's not a commercially viable game. You know, having a whole bunch of drop targets is not really commercially viable these days. They cost money, and so having to have two banks of 3 on either side, that's the sort of pricey thing that people these days like to avoid in their pinball machine design. So doing other things. Hey, we got a tip rolling in from Toxic, who tips 1 this time and says, at this point, I'm just here to be a distraction. Well, you're appreciated regardless, Toxic Glitter. Have a good one, Emily W. Hey, Mariol Expa. Glad you could join us. Ooh. What is this? Saturday the 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. Okay. That would be in my time zone. Oh boy. Yeah, let me see this real quick. If I had a work thing and I needed you to take Corinne to thing. Would that be okay, or would you prefer I ask? Okay. Because there's a thing one of the hermits is organizing that's colliding with a children's birthday party. That I don't need to be at the children's birthday party, but I did promise my daughter she'd go. So I gotta see if I can get alternate transport for her before I can connect. Kindle says kind of like how that Magical Girl pinball game at Chicago was commercially a disaster. Yeah, certain games, if they have too many features on them, can be too expensive to produce. Yeah. I'm definitely free for the first 90 minutes of that window, but supposed to get my kid across town for a birthday halfway through. Currently asking folks if they can drive her. Okay. So there might be a special Hermitcraft collab stream on Saturday the 22nd, but maybe not. Maybe it'll be moved to a different day. We don't know. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Okay. So we'll find out. I'm gonna see. I know somebody else who's going to the same party who might be able to pick up my kid, and if they can't, I can ask Quinn to do it. But okay. So let's see. Where are we? We're working on. I was gonna say we're working on pinball, but Vinny Cheese Mouse just tipped 10. Who says the fees on just $1 would be more than the tip, so here's more than $1. Well, thank you, Mini Cheese Mouse. That's going to bring us up to 120. So, Jotated. Okay. Yeah, the dogs are going nuts out there. Okay. Yeah. If you've shown up at 2 of my streams and you've said this exact same thing, when you entered both times. Tell me a joke, please. You're probably a bot or not a very polite person, so you're banned. It's always nice when I see something that's kind of off, and then I click view message history, and it's just the same message. Oh, don't have to worry. That's not a contributing person. Okay, cool. Next problem. Okay. So we might need to angle this more shallowly. Unless we... Well, no, because if there's... Yeah, this is probably going to have to be angled more shallowly. But... Okay. Now... So now we've got, like, an upper area here. But... what we don't have is kind of a mid-playfield area. Obviously, we need to keep certain lines clear, right? In order to have this shot work, we can't really have anything in here until it hits the flipper, right? Same thing for this shot. We're going to need a clear view of the flipper on this side, right? So if the flippers are going to hit these targets up here, that's going to be a problem as well. I do think that in order to have a real shot at hitting this far left target here, we are going to need a flipper here as well. But the thing is, how's the ball getting to that flipper is kind of one of the questions. Because if we have this pop bumper here blocking that flipper, right, then there's some good solid questions of, like, how does this flipper get reached. But I do think that there will often enough be deflections off there that it might matter. There's going to be cases where the ball pops off this one into here. Let's see. We'll need to gate this as well. So that way you could cradle the ball here and then shoot for those 3 targets. Having 2 targets here is also going to make some sense. I'm not sure what those targets represent, but, like, we're just kind of looking at the geometry and figuring this out as we go. How are we for time also? 10:30 almost. Okay, cool. So, let's look at some playfield scales. Okay. So fathom from reference. If we go... Okay. So if it's 7 wide here, then it is 13.5 there. So that's... Okay, 7 to 13.5. That's about where we're at. So if our playfield here is how far across? 13, no, 12, yeah, that's 13. So um 13 over. So we're going to cross multiply here. Yay, cross multiplication. Should be okay. You're gonna miss out on the bounce house. Yeah, I know, but it's a paid gig. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, calculator 13 times 13.5 is 175.5. Divided by 7 is 25. Okay, so this needs to be 25 squares tall. No, 25 centimeters tall, because I did this. And okay. So this is 17 here. 17 from 25 is 8, so the actual bottom of the playfield would be all the way down here. I might have put this way too high, actually. Well, maybe not. Okay. So... Okay, so if this is the actual bottom where, like, the drain is at the bottom of the apron and stuff. The plunger and stuff would be up there. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Okay. In real life pinball, is there any possibility for the ball to become airborne? Yes, there is, but the machine that we're using has a relatively close glass to playfield setup. If you were doing something where the ball is intentionally becoming airborne, you usually put the glass at a steeper slope so it gets further away from the playfield in the bottom, and that's not something we could change the cabinet on at this point in the process. Enjoy your self-portraits, Alex. So I'm good to go for that time. I have a string, and I already have the game. Okay. I'm very excited about this. I've never done a stream where I'm paid by the people who make the game to play it. And another hermit reached out to the company that makes a game that I already have and have already played on YouTube and streamed before, and was like, hey, would you pay us to play this together? So, and until this actually, I can't announce what it is yet, but I'm very curious to see how that goes. I also haven't seen exactly what the terms are, so I'm hoping it doesn't come back and it's like, here's $15, in which case I'll be like, oh, this is why I shouldn't let somebody else negotiate this. But I think it should be fair. I don't know. Well, it'll be a learning experience either way. I'm very curious to see how this goes. Even if I have to miss a children's birthday party. Oops. Okay, so yeah. So this is gonna let us have. We might actually need this to be lower as I'm looking at that. I'm also kind of realizing, let's see, how far down are the flippers on Fathom? Let's just look at that real quick. Oh, it's funny that these are all black and white. Yeah, okay, so here was an early idea I had for a relatively simple version of this table. But, okay, so is this the same scale? That would be really handy if it was. No, it's not. Smaller scale slightly. Okay, so on that Fathom that we were looking at before, the flippers would have been probably about 12 down. So where did I put my phone? Sorry, I'm getting a lot of messages right now. Okay. Okay. So, morning Aoi Dragon. So if this is 12 down out of 12 out of 13, it's like slightly less than 10%. So the flippers would be down around here. Yeah, okay. So flippers would be here-ish. Yeah, so these arcs are about right. Okay, so I'm not completely off there. I feel like having a lot of people really like having these shots, like little saucer shots up the left and right sides. And I'm not sure I love those. I kind of prefer, and this is me making my own dream game here. Like, what kind of shots would I like to shoot up there? The problem is with most things other than those, you're gonna have a hard deflection that isn't gonna be good. So that's gonna like bounce the ball toward the drain unfairly. So yeah, having the lower shots can definitely do something for you there. If I put some drop targets here in a row, that's something that people do as well. It has a value. It's interesting, but I don't know if it's what I want to do. I also kind of like the idea of shots that redirect the way that like light warps with gravitational lensing. So like having a shot that redirects the ball up toward, in theory, the two hardest of these 6 drop targets to hit are the far left and the far right. So having a shot that redirects you back toward this far right one here is interesting. Maybe that's a scoop that shoots up there. Kind of like, that's very similar to the jetpack scoop on Bond, I know. But it's exactly the same as the jetpack scoop on Bond, now that I'm saying it. Probably not what we want to do. But it's an interesting idea. Hey, Sugar Rat, we are planning my pinball thing. Konami's Cocoa Pie says, whenever I hit those, like 70% of the time it angles weird and the ball gets shot in the drain. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Good geometry on the table sends the ball back to the flipper if you hit your shot. So, And this is where subways and stuff start coming into play too. You can do things where you have the ball move around and lock in interesting places, but it makes it harder for the player to always know what to expect, which is good and bad in some ways. But I don't know. I find subways on games to be a little bit challenging and distracting in a way that doesn't feel as fun or rewarding. I mean, the Bond jetpack scoop concept, though, does put a lot of energy back into the upper area of the playfield. Arena Snow says, yeah, I wanted to blame / thank you for talking about Taskmaster. I've been watching it a lot. I do what I can. But anyway, you don't need the scoop pointed at here. If you have this set up properly, where we've got like another shot here, that's gonna redirect the ball like off this like, so if we want the ball to actually go to there, and we put in like a post here, we have something that kind of comes down, and then where you come up, and then you hit that. That could be interesting. These lines are a lot less clean because they're a lot less certain, is the problem. But, like, yeah, you could have a set of drop targets here and here. Actually, that's long enough that you could have, if those drop targets are... Yeah. Well, no, those are about right. Yeah. So then you got the out lane over here as well. The ball can go into. So you could have like these be like J, W, S, T. Actually, probably. I'd have to look if people. I feel like because you're going like left to right, but do targets usually go top to bottom in a situation like this? I feel like this would be like if you were numbering these targets, they'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. What are my feelings about magnets in the playfield? That's another good way to simulate gravitational lensing. Now that you're talking about it, a lot of people don't love them, but they can have a place. There's a good one in Guardians I like from the orb shot. That would be interesting to have have a magnet here. And so, but it only activates after you hit the... So you need a clean shot off the flipper all the way up to hit this captive ball, which hits a target back here. But then when your ball falls back down, the magnet triggers to throw it into the pops. I feel like that would be... Because I was thinking that's one problem with this shot, is the ball coming back down would probably go straight for the drain. Because it would have lost some of its inertia, imparting it into the captive ball. And so having the magnet to re-energize it is actually really cool. Sugarette says it's based on any particular pinball machine. No, I'm designing it myself. I'm drawing from certain traditions in pinball. This is a single level playfield. It doesn't have any ramps or anything that go three-dimensional. So it's more of an old school playfield. But it's not like... I'm not just saying like, oh, I've reskinned an existing table. So... I feel like we are making a reasonable amount of progress here. Ideally, you would want to rig this so that if you successfully hit like one of these... Oh, no, if we got that lined up right, then that's a good... So let's say we put a roll over here. We've got the spinner there for detecting things that way. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. We are at almost 10:45. Wow. Okay, so this has gone on a while. I feel like we're... It took a little while to shake loose the creative juices here, so I didn't want to wrap up once we just got going. But I feel like we're in good shape on the whole here. Do we want star rollovers? Maybe here and here. Like, I'm looking at this, and I'm kind of thinking star rollovers would be appropriate. Some sort of pop-up bash toy could be interesting, like the way that they've got Gabba Gabby or whatever in Gabby Gabby in the Toy Story one, where there's like a Jack-in-the-Box type pop-up here. Because like you don't want to crowd the middle of your playfield here. But there's something to be said about having, like, if you had a JWST, Like, in real life, this would break so fast is the problem. There's a reason they don't do a lot of stuff like this. It's fun when the ball hits things, is one of the big things to keep in mind in pinball. You could put in, like, I've seen on, like, the P3 games, they'll have, like, rollover targets just floating in the playfield. Or in, like, Pinball FX games, they'll have, like, little stuff that pops up that the ball just puffs. They turn into puffs of air when you hit through them. But you want things to change the ball's inertia and spin and stuff. And having stuff that pops up but makes sense in the context of what we're doing. I'm not sure what that looks like. So we're just gonna write pop up in question mark. No particular shape, because but like, especially the idea of something popping up during multi-ball. Like a bash target that pops up during multi-ball. MB bash target pop-up. I keep thinking I'm running out of juice, but like I'm actually feeling pretty good about a lot of this as I'm coming up with it now on the fly. McLesley says like a flying asteroid that has to be avoided, or well, the thing is that a bash target is something that you aim to hit. Mini Cheese Mouse says, I think you need to consider how much redstone you need to make these things happen. I mean, making something pop up out of the playfield that's made of concrete powder or whatever is relatively straightforward. So from a metaphorical standpoint, a flying asteroid to be avoided isn't as fun as something that pops up that you have to hit. And it might be something like the hexagonal like deploy sensor array, right? So let's say that after you start multi-ball, a hexagonal thing with 6 targets on it pops up, right? And you have to hit all 6, and that would represent the JWST dish, right? Receiver dish. And you have to hit all 6 sides of that hexagon during multi-ball to get the jackpot. Or to light jackpot. And then the jackpot might be hitting the saucer or something. Right? So having a because then you got something that you're trying to hit. And also changing the one of the nice things about changing the playfield like that during multi-ball is that gives the balls that are on their way back down something to bounce off of and bobble a little bit. E-Winnick says, cool, like you're activating the telescope. I have a call with E-Winnick in 11 minutes, don't I? Now that I'm looking at... I'm not late for that, am I? No, that's 11 minutes from now. I should be going. Thank you for popping in and reminding me. I kept thinking, like, boy, I feel like I'm doing really good here, but I should wrap this up. Why is that? Yeah. So, yeah, we're designing the playfield right now. I've got some concept art somewhere in here that would be relevant. Although we're in black and white mode, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, so this is what the actual array looks like. It's this series of hexagons here. But you could have something like that just pops up out of the playfield. And then you have to hit all 6 sides of it. Gosh, I've got so much random art in this book. Or this Oh, yeah, yeah. So, like, the 6 drop targets with the saucer would look like this. Kind of. But anyway. Yeah, no, we don't need to be late. This stream has gone long enough. I'm going to wrap up now so I have time to grab a refill for my drink before my call with Erin. So, what am I doing? I am going to figure out who we're rating. Twitch.tv/directory/following. Let's see. Pearl has been going for a long time, so it's probably about to wrap up. So we don't want to raid somebody who's about to wrap up. Ooh, Heads Up Challenge is playing Scooby-Doo Pinball. Why don't we go ahead and raid them? I actually got to meet Heads Up Challenge at Chicago Pinball Expo. Very cool, folks. It might just be Jordan today, but twitch.tv/headsupchallenge. No, I see somebody in the background. So when you get over there, our raid message is, howdy, y'all, Joe Hills raid here. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do. Stop streaming, stop.